Madam Speaker, this represents the 6th consecutive budget speech in which we have not introduced any new taxes on the people of Jamaica.
That was Dr. Nigel Clark, Minister of Finance and the Public Service, opening the budget debate for the new financial year in the House of Representatives on Tuesday. Missed highlights of government spending and revenue plan? Not to worry. We have snippets of the Finance Minister's presentation. Hello and welcome. It's Sunday and you're inside Jamaica Magazine. Today we extend the scope on the current meteorological drought and a little something new. I'm Adrian Atkinson, your host for today. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Nutritious food, succulent dishes, superior workmanship, and excellent service. Jamaica is on the go. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Let's harness the indomitable spirit of our most valued resource, our people. Let's support our local businesses. After all, buying Jamaican means building Jamaica.
We are inside the budget season, and as you would have heard, the total allocation for spending is $1 trillion for the 2023-2024 fiscal year. Watch now as we bring you a crucial segment of the Minister of Finance's budget presentation.
The following is an excerpt from the 2023-2024 opening budget presentation by Minister of Finance and the Public Service, Dr. the Honourable Nigel Clark.
Madam Speaker, I now turn to this year's budget. The central government expenditure of $1,021.7 billion or $1.0217 trillion, and that's $1 trillion with a capital T, is comprised of non-debt expenditure of $657 billion, capital expenditure of $65 billion, debt service of $280 billion, and below-the-line expenditure of $8.4 billion. Madam Speaker, compensation of employees is $367 billion, or 56% of the non-debt recurrent expenditure. In addition, Madam Speaker, in this budget we have $32.8 billion to meet the estimated second-year cost of the new compensation system, $6.5 billion to public sector health insurance, and $1.4 billion for the arrears to the NHT. The recurrent programs, Madam Speaker, $289.8 billion. Ministry of Finance will have $42 billion for public sector pensions and $3.1 billion to support local authorities for streetlights, Madam Speaker. The central government continues to pay the full bill for streetlights. Madam Speaker, we'll have $4.7 billion for the maintenance of roads, repairs to roads, and $1.2 billion for bridge development and construction. $7 billion for the supporting the JUTC, and Madam Speaker, $142.9 billion for the Ministry of Education, which represents 22% of non-debt expenditure. Of this amount, $9.3 billion is for school nutrition support, $15 billion for UE and UTEC, Madam Speaker, and in the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, $8.4 billion for cash grants for PATH beneficiaries, and this includes or reflects the 18% increase approved by Cabinet on the leadership of Minister Samuda. Madam Speaker, the Ministry of Health and Wellness, $14.7 billion for drugs and medical supplies, and $10 billion for the University of the West Indies. Madam Speaker, the Minister of National Security, $59 billion for the police, $32 billion for the JDF, $11 billion for the Department of Correctional Services, and $2 billion for MOCA. Capital expenditure, Madam Speaker, is programmed at $75.4 billion. And the main programs include $22.1 billion for the Southern Coastal Highway Improvement Project, $7.2 billion for the Montego Bay Perimeter Road, Madam Speaker. And very importantly, the Ministry of Agriculture, again, has the highest capital budget it has had in the last 20 years, Madam Speaker. Higher than last year, which was also the highest. with the Southern Plains Agriculture Development Project and the Essex Valley Irrigation Project, Madam Speaker, with a combined approximate $7 billion, Madam Speaker, to supply irrigation infrastructure, road rehabilitation, etc. Madam Speaker, there's $1.9 billion to procure 50 more garbage trucks for the NSWMA. And Madam Speaker, we're spending money to expand the hospital and clinic network in the country. $2.7 billion for the Spanish Town Hospital. Madam Speaker, $2 billion to come for phase 3 works at the Cornwall Regional Hospital, and $530 million in the redevelopment and modernization of the University Hospital. Madam Speaker, there's also an $8 billion capital expenditure allocation for projects that get approved throughout the year. Now, Madam Speaker, we share the benefits of our economic reform and economic recovery by making investments that improve quality of life and by making public investments that improve public service delivery. In this year's budget, we outline a number of those. Capital projects are multi-year undertakings and require significant analysis, planning, preparation prior to implementation.
Water is precious. So we encourage everyone to practice the 4 R's of water conservation. Always remember to reduce your use of water wherever possible. Replace water wasting devices with water savings devices. Reuse water wherever possible. And wherever leaks are found, please repair them and repair them quickly.
Don't delay. Practice the 4 R's of water conservation today.
Inflows are below outflows and our reservoirs are starting to see depletions. Against this backdrop, the country has been cautioned to conserve water, even as government ensures those facing shortages get the precious liquid.
Jamaica has a bimodal rainfall pattern, which means we have 2 peaks of high rainfall activities. The primary peak occurs in October each year, and the secondary peak occurs in May. Now, during the period February to March and the month of July, that is in between the 2 peaks, we also have our lowest period of rainfall. So we are in one of those low periods now of rainfall. Jamaica is in a meteorological drought. What that means is that the level of rainfall is so low that it is affecting the supply of water. And this is particularly the case for communities that are dependent on catchment. So rural communities are likely to be greatly affected. But there is a more standard and precise definition of a meteorological drought, and that is determined by what is called the Standardized Precipitation Index. And this is a tool used to monitor drought conditions based on precipitation, meaning rainfall. For Jamaica, a meteorological drought event occurs anytime the SPI, that is the Standard Precipitation Index, is negative for at least 2 consecutive months and reaches certain particular values, but suffice to say that we have hit those marks. People who are in rural areas who depend on rainwater catchment or have water systems that depend on catchment, they are starting to feel the impact of the drought. So they don't need this index to say that they are in a drought situation. The meteorological drought is different from the hydrological drought, which is focusing on your stream flows, your flows in your rivers, the level of water in your aquifers and so forth. We are not yet at that point. So we're not yet experiencing a hydrological drought. However, the starting point of that is when your rainfall is persistently low. The situation is of concern, but it is not one in which I would say we should panic. But we are being proactive, we are preparing the country, and we are trying to bring our citizens into the understanding of the changes that are taking place in our climate. We had made an allocation of 50 million Jamaican dollars to support the initial response. We will put in another 100 million Jamaican dollars into the response, and the response will be channeled through the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. It will be channeled through the Ministry of Local Government and filtering through the various municipal authorities. We gave 30 million to the parish councils for them to start the initial response. In terms of how the resources will be used, we're going to concentrate on the rural areas that are impacted, because we still have sufficient supplies in our catchment and in our treatment facilities and in our reservoirs, even though some of them are showing decline. The utility areas, meaning the areas served largely by the NWC through metered water, they are not affected as badly as the rural areas. For this phase of our drought response, we're going to be focusing on the rural parishes, and we will be directing the funds by need. As this is the initial phase, we're going to go case by case, need by need, so that we maximize the value of the response. In other words, there are some areas that will not need assistance right now, while other areas will need great assistance. So we're being sensitive to that. If there is an urban community that is affected, and there may be a few of them who depend on catchments or on water systems that are not part of the NWC's system, they too will get support. The NWC will play a critical role in all of this as well. In November last year, we took receipt of 8 new water trucks. So your government has been increasing our capacity to respond to these crises. These 8 trucks are with the NWC, and we have another 8 that we are in the process of purchasing the others. In addition to that, there are some parish councils that we had provided with trucks. We're going to continue to increase our capacity with trucking and the replenishment of the capacity of our rapid response for water. We have invested heavily in putting in an entire new water trunk for the corporate area. We have invested heavily in what we call our non-revenue water reduction, meaning that the NWC now has less leaks than before and therefore is able to recover more funds from the water it produces.
had a very successful reggae month, extremely successful. I don't have to go through those details, right? I know entertainment zones, as we get entertainment up and running again, entertainment zones could become an issue, and we are moving on fast track the various locations that we have identified to be entertainment zones. We did announce Fort Rocky some time ago, which is part of an overall Port Royal entertainment zone, which includes the new pier that's built there. It includes Fort Charles and other smaller facilities within the Port Royal area. But the good news today is that in another 2 months, the Fort Rocky facility will be available for events. It will be landscaped and fully fenced. We have identified facilities right across the island to be established as entertainment zones. There are facilities already available for use. All the Port Authority facilities across the island are available for use for entertainment. And the stadium complex, every inch of the stadium complex is being used now.
Greatness is in your bones.
I'm unstoppable. I'm a butcher with no brains. I'm invincible. Yeah, I win every single day.
We're looking for great things this season. And I know you believe it within your very core. And so we have committed to continue the support behind you and in front of you and beside you so that you can excel and you can do well and you can be your best self.
I'm unstoppable. I'm a butcher with no brains. I'm invincible. Yeah, I win every single day.
So Portland is this parish where the waters move to their own dialogue. These shapeless liquids shaping our ability to experience life around us. Of course, we keep returning to stunning but familiar blue or turquoise spaces we grew up around, but maybe never quite enjoyed how we're supposed to.
This is a parish where the water smooth like rum, Jamaican style.
Where life can be spicy like jerk chicken, the true flavor of Portland.
Our the culture can be exciting like we the people. 6 boy!
Luxurious resorts, the greenery of tropical plants, and the radiant sunlight, all of which of course make Portland a breathtaking place to see. But today we're exploring the seas of the parish as Portland speaks to us with her unique language. So ever since time, people have been seeking waterways to open new horizons or even driving coastlines in search of surf spots. Well, here at Boston Bay Beach, we found one of Jamaica's ideal surf spots, where surfing in the country began in the 1900s.
The traditional surfing that we have come to envision when the word is used of someone standing on a surfboard riding a big wave. The popularity of that in Jamaica actually probably took off somewhere in the late 1950s to early 1960s. Boston was one of the places where surfing was possible, and as such these surfers who lived in Kingston used to make a regular trip over to Boston Bay to enjoy the surf over there. Boston Bay became renowned as one of the surfing beaches in Jamaica, being the fact that it was on the north coast and it was a beautiful picturesque cove that also allowed for swimming as well as surfing. It became very popular as a surf destination. I could say that I've got my first personal surfboard in about 1974, and I've been surfing since that time until now. It enriched my life, and with a feeling when you're surfing, it's almost like flying, is what I would say. You feel like you're flying because you're moving over the surface of water like how God said him to move over the surface of the water in Genesis 1.
And just in case you didn't know, Boston is an unusual but beautiful horseshoe-shaped bay that leads to the sea. It provides a lovely view. Surfing is not so popular in Jamaica, but at this beach, locals and tourists will be tempted by the tides to grab a surfboard and ride the waves. So if you're here, do it anyway.
My name is Anthony, and I've been surfing over 4 years now. Boston Bay Beach is one of the safest beaches to surf and swim and come and enjoy our good food that we have here as well.
Well, I've been surfing here at Boston Bay Beach for 9 years now and still going. Well, you have beautiful scenery, nice waves for surfing, and then you have nice jerk food all around and nice friendly people. So right now here at Boston Beach is like the most beautiful place on the island for surfing. Surfing kind of like refreshes my mind and after a stressful day and stuff like that. And teaching people to surf is also fun. It helps to put a smile on other people's face and stuff like that.
You're a newbie like myself, come to Boston Bay Beach and test the limits of gravity on the tides. Rent a surfboard, get yourself a surf instructor and surf out. I promise you, it will be an unforgettable experience. Now on my journey in Portland, I discovered somewhere that's tucked away in the parish. Off the beaten track, a literal hidden gem, Turtle Bay. And what makes Turtle Bay so unique? The bay is named for the turtle shell-shaped stone monument that magically rises from the water. Well, that's of course if you believe in magic. And there's an adventure to be had in trying to find your way there. Turtle Bay is a great place to just escape from the rattle and hum of things, chill and just enjoy the view of the lovely rocks. Now, after exploring all those exhibitions of colors, the ebb and flow of tides, and the beach bowing to our need for adventure, I mean, it's only fitting to relax a little above sea level. I'm on my way to Canopy House, and these are tree houses or hotels tucked away high up in the rainforest. So you can just imagine the lush surrounding, birds tweeting, leaves rustling, sea splashing. But it's easy to see how all these come together to create one thing, beauty.
Canopy House is actually near the Blue Lagoon in Port Antonio. We are totally off the beaten track. It's hard to find us, and that's deliberate. It is not for everybody. Canopy House is pretty much in a rainforest. So we have totally wooden structures. We try to fit into the environment. So if you're not into natural scenery, if you're not into environmentally friendly properties, this is not for you. We use local people to make the houses and local wood. So sweetwood, almond tree, these are just some of the names. We actually exit into the Blue Lagoon, and we have a deck that you can jump off and swim at the Blue Lagoon. We have kayaks on property. I find though that the people from Europe enjoy Canopy a lot. And lately we have been getting a lot of growth from Jamaica because Port Antonio is now becoming the capital of getting away from it all in Jamaica.
It's no easy ride getting here, but it's a worthwhile trip. So Portland may be several different things for several different persons. And for me, it's a parish with so much beauty to see, feel, and taste. Come and enjoy the whole Portland story, from the bush to the beach or the hill, whatever you will. Really, it's all here.
Check on your strong friends. Having gone through postpartum depression after having my daughter, I know what mental illness can be like.
You may be the one to provide someone with a haven.
Very much true, because like she said, you don't know what people are going through. It's also important to know within yourself what's going on, because you yourself know you better than anyone else could possibly know you.
Being able to be your true self is one of the strongest components of good mental health. You can whisper how you feel, or you can shout it out loud, but in whatever you do, if you need help, say something.
Today, as we close out the magazine, we'll be introducing something new. In recognition of the Lenten period, the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport has launched a campaign promoting the Jamaican language. It will feature daily readings from the Patra Bible called the Jamaican New Testament. Watch as we bring you more.
Today, we are read from Matthew 5, 43 to 48. Under the day, say Moses did write, say, love on a neighbor and hate on an enemy. But this is what I say. Love on an enemy them and pray for the people them where treat on a bad and make on suffer. When you do that, you will come in just like on the Father where they are heaven. You see how we make the sun rise up and shine upon wicked people and good people? And the same so he make rain fall upon people where do a right in him yai? And the one them when you listen what him say. After all, if you no uncle love the people them will love you, why you no go get out of that? And if no uncle tell for no people them how they, why you no would do so when nobody else no do? Eh? Down to the wrong door them do that. Not true. So hear me now. You no feel uncle good sometime and uncle to some people. Nobody no fear have nothing bad for say about you. Turn just like on the Father when in heaven. Him good all the while to everybody. And nobody can say nothing bad about him and attack truth. Matthew 5, 43 to 48.
We're signing out for now, but not to worry. You can rewatch today's offering and other content like this by visiting our website, jis.gov.jm. Do join us again tomorrow on this same station as we bring you another informative, educational and entertaining package of Jamaica Magazine. On behalf of all of us here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.